future knitters, in this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to knit. So first you'll need a ball of yarn. A number 4 is nice, and a number 4, number 5 are good. For beginners, it's easier to start out with a number 4 or a number 5. Number 6, you might want to wait a little bit before that, and you might want to, on the label on the back, they tell you what size needle you should be using. I don't really pay attention to that, but you probably should. I don't know. So I don't know why I started doing that. First, let's make a slip knot. I make a slip knot by wrapping your working yarn. This is called your working yarn. I should have told you guys that. This is called your working yarn. It is connected to the yarn ball. To make your knot or slip knot, you want to wrap it around your finger 2 times. Do that with me. Wrap it around 2 times. Then you want to hold it with your middle finger and your thumb. Then you want to take the first strand, put it over the second strand. Now take the second strand and put it over the first strand, and then pull, and then you get a slip knot. It's called a slip knot because you can make it bigger and make it smaller. You can make it real big, but we're not doing that with it today. This is the first stitch, but for knitting, in knitting, you count it. So here is your first stitch. Now what you will be wanting to do is to make your cast-ons. I use 2 kinds of cast-ons. No, 3, sorry. I use 3 kinds. The one that I use the most is the long tail cast-on, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You want to have a long tail. The tail is the end of your yarn that's on the other side of your slip knot. The working yarn is right here. It's always connected to something. So with the long tail cast on, you want to put it in so that your tail is facing you. Then you want to put it in. Then you want to wrap the tail around your thumb and hold that with your pinky. And then you want to put your working yarn and wrap it around your finger, your pointer finger or index, whatever you want to call it. Now what you want to do is grab it from your thumb, steal it from your front thumb, turn your hands, then grab it from the pointer finger, then pull it through, and then you have 2 cast-ons now. 2 cast-ons. So now what you want to do, go back to that position, scoop your yarn up from your thumb, scoop the yarn from your index finger, pull it through, make it tight, grab it from your thumb, index finger, pull it tight, thumb, index finger, pull it tight. For beginners, I like to start with 5. 5 seems like a lucky number and a good number. The needle that you make cast-ons on always stays in your left hand, except for when you're putting the cast-ons on. And this always needs to be down or to the side, whichever one. It cannot be up like this or to the side like this. It always needs to be down. You can also twist your needle, you don't have to move it. Like if it's right here, I can just move it. Now, since we have such a long tail, you just want to ignore that. Where is it at? There it is. And you can just, if you're not comfortable with it and you think you're just gonna knit with it, you might just want to trim it. And keep in mind that this is loose, so that means that it can fall out and your knitting will look odd. So I cut mine. Now you want left hand, the one with the cast-ons. And now you have your other needle. You might be thinking, what do we do with it? Don't we just wrap it around like this, pull it over? No, sadly, that would be very easy. You want to insert it. For beginners, you don't want it as tight as I did, so you might just want it like this tight. But you just want it snug so you can get your knitting needle to the other side. It should look like this on the back side. On the front side, it should look like this. And then there's a trick I can show you for when you're knitting for beginners. And this, I like to do stab it, throw over, and then you have 3 pieces of yarn. There's a piece in the middle, and it's sort of closer to the right needle. If you look at it, wait, crap. Oh no. So let me yarn over. And there's sort of like 3 loops in there. I can't show you because this is like, it's on a tripod. So you have 2 here, 1 here. You want to take your knitting needle, put it at a 90-degree angle. Yeah, it's 90, right? Yeah. Or whatever angle, I don't care. And then you want to pull it through, and then you get this loop. Then that loop you just went through, you want to take it off. Then you want to pull it nice and snug so it won't fall off each time you do something else. And there's the tail. There's the tail that I was telling you about. It tried to slip off on us. So now we want to put our needle back through, yarn over, look to see where it's at, make the 90-degree angle, pull it through with the tip, take the stitch off. Oh crap. Now that's a perfect example. When you're knitting, you never want to pull. With this, with this cast on, I can just push it back on. But with the others, it'll just come right undone and you'll have to start all over. So you want to push it through, yarn over, or stab it. Then you want to make the 90-degree angle, and then pull it through with the tip, and then take it off. Now I'm just going to finish these 2 real quick. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to show you one more cast on, and then we'll get into the good stuff. So that's the power of pulling on the working yarn, is it just destroys everything. So I'm going to make your knot, slip knot, whatever you want to call it. And then you have your knot, you want to put it on. The needle should be in your right hand. That's what a lot of people get mixed up with, is what hand they're supposed to put their needle in. Now, for this one, it's a little different. You're not going to be doing this. Well, I guess you can, but like, I don't think it will work. I've never tried it. Oh, it does. Okay. Well, we're not doing it that way. We are going to be doing another cast on. I'm not sure about its name, but I just know how to do it. Okay, so you want to make like a gun shape, and you want to hold it with, you want to hold the tail with your other fingers, wrap it around your pinky, and it's like you're crocheting. You want to take your middle finger and your thumb, and then just hold the knot as you grab the yarn, and then you want to push it a little bit, and then pull it off with your needle. And you have 2. And then we're going to make 5. But this time I'm not going to knit, because you guys saw how to knit and stuff like that. And this one is sort of for beginners because it's easier. The long tail is I always see pros using it. But see how it's just like gonna fall apart instead of stay together? Like, not even pulling. It's coming off. The knot's the only thing that's gonna stay without being pulled. And there you got it. And then here's another way to cast on. The other way is you want to make your knot, and then you want to put it on like normal. But this time, you're not going to hold it in your left hand. You're actually going to knit while you're doing it. You are going to insert it through the front to the back. You're going to stab it. You're going to throw it over. Then you want to knit it. Then you want to put it back on. Then it makes two, and you also knitted part of a row. So you just want to knit it. This is good for like when you're making sweaters and stuff. Cause oh my gosh, that noise. Yeah, so you guys get the point. So now I'm going to show you what you do while you're knitting. Do I have any? I'm gonna switch to another needle because I don't like these. They're squeaky and stuff, and don't want to listen. So I'll get some others. Here's a 4mm. I like these a lot. I started to fall in love with them as I was making my sock. I like the simple one. It's easier, but I usually do the other long tail. Wait, that was one. This time we're gonna do 10. And to count them, you just count the loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like we need one more. Now we're just going to do the simple knit stitch, and then I'll show you another thing. So, yarn over, pull it back through. And keep in mind you don't want to make them too tight so you can't go through them. And the first and second row are the hardest. So let's knit this. And sometimes the third row can be hard, but from then on it's good. Unless you mess up and it all gets ruined. And then you might think, oh no, we're getting to the end. What do we do now? And you might not know what to do. It's pretty simple, actually. You just want to turn it around. Let me finish this row. You're just going to turn it around. You're just going to turn it around like this. And pretend there was an end on this. A trick that I do when I'm using these kinds of needles is I have like work on it and I need to go. So what I do is I put my needle through 2 of the cast-ons or loops or stitches, whatever you want to call them, and then I push it, and then it's sealed at both ends so they can't come off because there's a stopper here and a stopper here. Okay, now for the next kind of stitch, because there's like other stitches out there. There's the waffle stitch. I like to do that one. And to do that, you have to do a purl. And this is a good time to get into how I'm holding my yarn. I hold mine continentally, but when I'm just doing straight knits, I hold it like this. And then when I'm going to throw over, I just wrap it. Don't do this way. Don't go from the back to the front over. It just messes up your stitches. I don't like it. I like to go over it and then pull it through. So for the B stitch, it's a good one to start out with because it's simple. You do 2 knits. I believe it's 2 knits, then a purl. 2 knits, then a purl. And now you're probably like, how do I make a purl? Well, making purls are just like knits, except it's all backwards. So what you want to do is you probably have your yarn over here. You want to take it to the back. It's a little odd at first, but it works out. So you push it in from the front. There's two loops. There's this back one and there's this front one. When you knit, you go in through the front one to the back, but you don't get the back loop. But in this one, you go through the front to the back. You never go through this one. Go from the front to the back. You go from the back to the front, sorry. And then you want to yarn over or throw over. And then that's your purl. Then you just want to take it off. Nothing much different. And continentally, knitting is easy doing the continental style, but purling is a pain because I had to figure out my own way to do it. Other people have their own ways. Wait, okay, this was 10. I didn't mean to make it, wait. Knit, 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 purl. And then I did a purl right there. So, oh, that's another thing we can get into, taking our stitches out. So, you might see there's like a U right here. It's like a U. And you want to stab that. It's very little, so you can't really see it. And my yarn's really fuzzy. And then you just want to take the stitch off. And then you want to take your working yarn and pull it. And then, there, voila. You get your stitch, then you can just put it back on. And then I've done rows of taking them out, like 3 rows. So it gets a little annoying, but it's a safe way to do it. So now we're gonna do knit. Okay, so the V-stitch is knit, knit, purl, and then you keep doing that for the whole entire thing. And then it looks like, I'll show you different stitches in the next video. And now let's get into how to take your yarn, your project off. So I'm just gonna knit this, and then we'll turn it over. Okay, let me knit a few rows. Okay. So here. So you knit 2. You don't purl them. You knit them. So you knit them, and then you can either use your needles to take it off. I usually use my fingers. So you can use your needles to take them off, but I think it's easier to use your fingers. So knit it, take it off, pull it over, and then it makes a fine stop. And then you just want to knit and one more, and you want to take it off. And then you want to knit another one, and you want to take it off. You want to knit another one. You want to take this one off. And as you see, probably behind, it's coming off. And knits are very stretchy, even if you have it tight on your needles and it's not a stretchy yarn. It's still going to be stretchy. Not because of the yarn, but because of how it's connected. And rips, like it's a habit of mine to not pull, because that can ruin it in an instant. Pulling is the worst thing you can do. Crap. And here's one example. I took another thread that I wasn't supposed to, so now it's just going to be hard, and it won't want to be bigger or smaller. It's just going to be a pain in the butt. So now you can just use a crochet hook or something. I usually use crochet hooks for this kind of stuff. I need to get a smaller one, but let's just put it in and grab it. There. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. Okay, so there. Okay. Now let's grab our yarn again. Let's knit it, knit one, put it over, and now I didn't grab enough threads, so there, you can just go back and get them. So then you want to knit it again, and then pull it over. Then you have your project off, and now you're still connected. So what you want to do now is you want to get out a pair of scissors or yarn cutters. These were $5 on Amazon, $5, I forget. It's been a minute since I bought them. And they're extremely nice, and they come with little pack. They come in a 3-pack, and they have these little covers that you can put them in. You don't have to keep them, but I like to because I bring these to school, and it's just safer because I knit a lot. And these are nice. You get a pink one, a tan one, and a granite colored one. Not granite, well, that color, whatever. And then, they come in a nice package. And I can trust Amazon too. So, wait, why did I put those away? And now, to take it off all the way, you want to snip the end. And you want to pull it a little bit so it's big enough to get a crochet hook or something through. Then you might need to push it, these little 2 loops, a little bit back. And then you want to try to get it through. If you don't make the tail long enough, it might not work. And you can see I didn't grab enough threads pulling it through, so it's now going to look a little sloppy. Okay, and then you can just trim the end, and there you have it. And that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. See you later.